You know, 60% of Wisconsin businesses aren't hiring right now. That's because of Kamala Harris's policies. Is that a good idea? 70% of Wisconsin workers say that their pay has not kept up with the price of housing and the price of groceries. Is that a good thing? Over $11,000. That is what it costs the average Wisconsin family to buy today what they could have bought 3 years ago. Is that a good thing for Wisconsin families? And so Kamala Harris now wants a promotion. Are we going to give it to her? Absolutely not. We're not going to give it to her.
And that was Republican vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance campaigning in battleground Wisconsin last night, slamming Vice President Kamala Harris for economic policies he says are negatively impacting the state. The Trump-Vance campaign ramping up its schedule this week to counter Harris. Joining me now is Wyoming Senator John Barrasso. He's the Senate Republican Conference Chairman and the ranking member of the Senate Energy and Natural Resources Committee. Senator, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Thank you, Maria. Great to be with you.
I know you were on the campaign trail with J.D. Vance in Wisconsin last night. Tell me more about it. What did you hear on the ground from Wisconsin voters?
Well, lots of energy, lots of excitement for President Trump and for J.D. Vance and Republicans up and down the ticket. So it was terrific. These are people that are showing up saying, life is a lot worse now than it was 4 years ago when President Trump was in office, and what they want is a better life, which means more money in their pocket. It means that they can put food on the table and gas at the tank at the same time. They want secure borders. They want parental control of the schools. They want safe communities, which is what all Americans want. And that's what I saw. Lots of energy, lots of excitement. The other thing that J.D. did that I haven't seen coming from the Democrat side of the aisle, he actually, after talking to the crowd, took questions from the press, about a half dozen questions, local press, and then questions from CNN and the New York Times right there in front of the whole crowd, not afraid to take questions about any topic. And we haven't seen Kamala Harris do that, Maria, now for a month.
Well, very good. She's going to do an interview tonight. What is the most important question CNN needs to ask Kamala Harris tonight?
Well, first, before getting to the most important question, let's take a look at the facts of this interview with Kamala Harris. Her campaign is afraid to put her in front of the American people without somebody standing beside her, adult supervision. She is unprepared, unqualified to be president of the United States. She's unable to stand on her own 2 feet to defend and talk about her own record and her record number of flip-flops. She's not going to sit down with CNN without a paramedic standing next to her in case she needs CPR. Look, this is a disgrace. It's an insult to the American people. CNN should make sure they ask tough questions about her liberal record. In the Senate, she was the most liberal member of the United States Senate, more liberal than Bernie Sanders or Elizabeth Warren. The fact that she signed into law, that she broke the tie on the legislation that brought us 40-year high inflation, cumulative prices up 20% since they took office.
Yeah.
The fact that she was the border czar, 10 million illegal immigrants. They need to ask her about all of these flip-flops, the positions that she was at, and if she's changed her position, why? What was wrong with the original positions? Because she is very, very dangerously liberal.
I mean, it's interesting to me that you've got the Democrats trying to act like, oh, we want to turn the page. We you know, enough of Donald Trump. We want to turn the page and have Kamala's joy leading the country, as if President Trump has been in charge. They've been in charge for the last 4 years. So this turning of the page, it's Harris from Biden-Harris. Former President Donald Trump is leading Vice President Harris among independent voters. A new YouGov poll finds 42% of independent voters say that they plan to vote for Trump, while 37% say they'll cast their vote for Harris. Harris, of course, is going to do this interview tonight, and the polls may very well come up. But this is the first time she's discussing anything in 40 days with CNN's Dana Bash tonight. She's been hounded for a solo appearance, as you just said, but she's got to have Tim Walz alongside her. What do you make of these polls? As the Journal comes out with this op-ed this morning, Harris gets an interview crutch. After ducking the press, she'll have a chaperone for her chat with CNN. Senator, are you surprised that even after all we know about her performance as vice president these last 4 years, that the polls are still very tight?
Well, I'm happy to see that President Trump is doing so well with these independent voters who are realizing just how liberal Kamala Harris is. I think that's a reflection of the fact that this is somebody who is actually in favor of eliminating private health insurance in the United States, but she wants to give free health care to illegal immigrants. This is the person that's so far for the Green New Deal and wants to eliminate fracking. That's going to rise up prices for American consumers. This is someone who, as a senator, was out there raising money to bail out criminals in the United States, but then now makes it easier for illegal immigrant criminals to stay in the United States. These are the things that she needs to address. Answer if she's changed her position. Why? We don't know that she's changed her position. We know there's some leaks from some staff members that say she's changed her position. They need to get down to that today. But it's going to be a lot harder when she has, as you just said, Wall Street Journal recommends, a chaperone with her on the stage.
All right. We will leave it there. Senator, it's always a pleasure to see you. Thank you, sir.